stay tuned until the end of the episode where I will break down Brandy and Perrin's workout and give you some tips on the workout and break my whiteboard.
Strength, ding, ding, throwdown!
On this week's Throwdown, we have Peppermint Perrin and Banana Brandy demo the workout.
We've got Dumbbell Box Step-Overs and chest to bar pull-ups.
And we release these workouts right here every Thursday on YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. This week's Throwdown is 5 rounds per time of 30 dumbbell box step-overs and 20 chest to bar pull-ups. There's a 14-minute time cap.
If you want to get on the leaderboard, check the description down below. There you'll also find a warm-up and movement standards for this workout. And on that note, for the dumbbell box step-overs, it's a different standard today. It is 1 dumbbell, you must hold it in a farmer's position, and both feet must touch the top of the box, so no stepping over with one leg.
And it's 24 inches for boys and girls.
That makes me very happy.
As
This week's
it
Are you gonna dance?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
This week's demo athletes are Brandy and Perrin. Brandy was on our team at the CrossFit Games with Mia. Perrin is one of our new coaches. Both of them are almost masters athletes. Brandy's a little bigger, Perrin's a little smaller. We'll see how the gymnastics and movements pair up. I don't know where I'm going. Let's watch this damn workout.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my gosh,
Look
Perrin
who-
has to take huge steps to
Yeah,
get on the
that's-
24.
24 is a hard height.
Yeah.
You guys complain when it's 20, complain when it's 24.
No, we only complain when females who are as tall as or taller than males get to use the low one, and shorter males have to use a tall one. His parents just getting crushed here with.
Yeah, I mean, they should just measure like leg length or something
Yeah.
before.
This is
Give me the
my
12-inch box,
least
please.
favorite conversation ever.
This is an interesting new standard. I feel like with the pairing of doing this many chest to bars, this definitely will be a grip limited style workout. But because it's only 1 dumbbell, you get the opportunity to switch it back and forth, and I think people should take advantage of that.
I like Brandy's technique over the box, how she has that back step just touch and then come off, because you do have to touch both feet. You can't swing that back leg over.
Yeah, I like that we force that. One thing that I'm noticing is both of them, when they're doing this, are bending their arm pretty significantly as they're going over. I don't know if that's just a balance thing, and like it would be hard to keep it straight because you don't have the counterbalance on the other side. But I think maybe figuring out a position going over the box that puts a little bit less stress on the biceps and the grip would be beneficial.
Yeah, that is actually something I was going to talk about. For those that have longer arms than their height, so like their wingspan is longer than their actual height. So like,
So for those of you who are cursed in CrossFit,
no, I mean,
Yeah, all those gymnastics movements.
believe it or not, mine actually is longer. I still end up being okay at some of the gymnastics movements, but the tendency for me is to have to bend my arms a little bit to clear the box so the dumbbell hits the edge of the box. So for those people, it's going to be tough, but I agree with Max. Keep your arms straight and try to relax as much as you can, because otherwise your biceps will also blow up on the chest bars.
So Brandy there was done in about 145. Perrin was only about 5-6 seconds behind at 150. About a 10-second transitions into the chest to bars. It looked like Brandy just jumped up and did a set of 5, I'm guessing.
I think it was like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. Perrin looked like she chipped it away at a bigger set. And I would think just she's a little bit smaller, shorter
Her
arms.
speed of chest to
Yeah.
bar is really, really good.
Chest to bar, handstand push-ups. Her gymnastics is really solid.
Yeah, for those that watched the news show episode a couple weeks ago, she was doing strict handstand push-ups, and you could see how fast those were. I mean,
So not fair.
there's
Yeah,
definitely
I
an
don't want to hear
advantage.
about boxes when that's strict,
When
what's
that's
strict
a
handstand
standard.
push-ups.
Yeah, and you can't fix that one at all.
No, there's
But
no
this
standard
workout-
to fix it.
This workout's perfect because there's a balance here. So Brandy's a little bit better. You can see it here. Like she's just a little bit more smooth on the box. Perrin's doing a good job, but Brandy's able to do bigger sets and go at a nice cadence, whereas Perrin's a little bit faster on the chest bar. So in this sport, you're not going to be built for everything. It's just finding out how to take advantages of the strengths you have and then clean up the weaknesses so that they're not as maybe weak as someone else.
Yeah, you should have said you're not going to be built for everything unless you're Max.
That's
the one
true,
caveat.
yeah.
I am perfectly built for all of CrossFit.
So both of
you
their
are.
feedbacks after,
ignored me.
yeah, I have nothing to say. Both of their feedbacks after this workout were that it was more of a breathing limitation, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I think Perrin is at 90 degrees coming over this box. She is literally horizontal to the ground. Brandy's able to stand up, but I would imagine being in that position is just like every time is going to be challenging to breathe. I would imagine getting a breathing rhythm is tough there. And you're pairing it with chest to bars, which is also another movement that I think kind of, for most people, you're kind of creating that hollow and arch, and it's so tight that you can't really take rhythmic quality breaths.
Yeah, I think this is something you definitely want to practice in your warm-up. I would start with like even a 5-pound dumbbell and kind of play around with your positions, because it's not only just like the hinge over, but you're almost having to brace on one side. So you're almost doing like a dumbbell side bend. Wow.
Shit, what was that?
Nice save, not bust your foot. But it's almost like a dumbbell side bend where it's really hard to breathe in that position for most people. So I think that the tendency here is going to be holding your breath as you're going over, and then when you stop, that's when your heart rate spikes because you're trying to catch your breath in that moment.
Yeah, it almost seems like, even though this is one dumbbell, so it's 50% less external load than a normal two dumbbell box step over, it almost seems to be the same cycle rate. They don't really seem to be much faster. So you're under tension for the same amount of time, and it maybe is even a little bit more awkward because you're loaded just on that one side.
So Brandy finishes that set at 4:30.
Yeah, I don't know when she finished the chest to bars, but I think Perrin's still going here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see just how far behind Perrin is, and then what's the difference in the chest to bar speed? Like, is Perrin able to catch up on the chest to bars, and then obviously vice versa on the blocks for Brandy?
Yeah, so Brandy was 4:30 when she finished that. She did her first chest to bar at 4:47.
6 reps.
So she took 27-second transition, 17-second transition, and then did a set of 6.
So really fast transition for Perrin. That was 5 seconds, but she was essentially 30 seconds behind to start. So we'll see if she can catch up here.
6, 7, 8. So Perrin opened with 8. So it seems like for most people, I'm guessing this will be a 3 or 4 set type thing. I think maybe for more elites, breaking it up into something like 10-10. Do you think there's anybody that would start with some unbroken sets of chest to bars?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
there are some people who would.
That'd be either your like gymnast type athlete or a Noah, someone like that that's just like really, really good at them. But
or someone who the step-overs don't cost that much. Like I could see Travis
Yeah.
moving so well on the step-overs that he's not that affected.
Yeah, it still ends up being 100 chest to bars if you're planning on finishing, and if you're going unbroken, I'm guessing your plan is to finish. So it's still, I would say, pretty dense.
yeah, especially with 150 box step overs in there too.
But I guess like 90 chest to bars in the CrossFit Games finale, I feel like they were all done. I mean, it won't really be that dense for them, I feel.
So Perrin caught up in the chest bar set. We didn't really notate the time, but basically she had a 30-second, or she was behind by 30 seconds. She basically caught up 27 or 28 seconds, like 2-second difference there, which is, I mean, again, take advantage of the strengths that you have, and if you know that you're really good at one of these movements, really try to push yourself there.
Yeah, it seems like with this one dumbbell, there's no real way to normally when you're doing dumbbell box step overs, you can kind of like lead them forward and then use that as an anchor to bring your weight up. It doesn't seem like with one dumbbell you can do that as well, but it does seem, even Perrin, as she's going over on one side, it's leading her, and then on the other side, it's behind her and trailing as she's moving. So
Brandy was doing sets where when she has the dumbbell in her left arm, she's always stepping up with her right, and then she puts it down and switches, and then it's the other leg. So she's not alternating the leg that she's stepping up on. I didn't do this standard, so I don't know what the balance point is, but I think that's why she was doing that, because the weight was counterbalancing the leg that stepped up.
This is just good practice. I mean, you get workouts that come out in the open where there's a new movement or a new standard that's put out, and you have 3 days to figure it out, essentially.
Yep.
This is a good time to practice.
Remember dumbbell snatches when they first came out?
Yes, exactly.
Everyone's like, what?
Yeah, and it makes you so much better at learning skills quickly if you can figure out those types of things. So this is one of those movements where it's a lot of step overs in this workout. You want to figure out how to do them efficiently, because a little bit of efficiency over that many reps is just, it'll save a specific area from getting overtaxed, or it'll just save you a little bit of energy to be able to put into the whole workout.
Yeah. Fully agree with that. One of the things Perrin, I think, is doing well, she's managing the box step overs. So you notice she's doing sets of 2s or maybe 4, and then she puts it down, takes a break, does another set of 2 or 4, takes a break. So she's always finishing on one side of the box, but that's allowing her to keep moving at a decent cadence, whereas like if she tried to do 30 unbroken or a set of 20 and then 10, she'd be blown up, and then she couldn't take advantage of the chest to bar pull-ups.
Yeah, she's also, you could tell she's breathing pretty hard right now.
Right.
She's kind of close up in the camera, and you could tell her respiration rate's pretty high. And she's doing the little strategy of using your grip underneath the dumbbell, which again, we've talked about this before. So long as they allow it and it doesn't become part of an uncommon movement clause, I feel like that saves people's grip a ton, and it should be something that you take advantage of whenever you have dumbbells in your hand. I've actually seen some people do it on max deadlifts also.
Yeah, it definitely helps, and I think that at some point they're going to outlaw that.
Yeah.
Was there a standard for the deadlift in the last chance qualifier?
No,
with
and
the
people
grips?
were using the
Yeah.
grips.
But it had to hand release.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah.
But still, even picking
Yeah.
it up, it's just like using,
Yeah.
a hook grip
Straps,
helps
kind of.
compared
Yeah.
to regular grip.
Yeah. So Brandy opened with a set of 3 on that set of chest to bars, which obviously means that they're getting harder and harder as the sets go on, which is what you should expect. I feel
Right.
like the density of chest to bars is pretty high on this, and the rest movement is still taxing your grip a little bit. I mean, it is alternating, but it's not like you really ever get a full recovery on your upper body. So I think you should expect whatever your break strategy is in the first set to probably be different than the 4th set and the 5th set.
Yeah, I mean, even without the box step overs, Brandy basically did sets of 20, call it on the 3 minutes, something like that, which is still pretty dense for most people. You have to be really good at chest to bars to be comfortable with that. So keep that in mind before you do the workout.
So she did 60 chest to bars thus far, right? And she
Right.
was done maybe a little over the 9-minute mark, like 9:30, something like that.
So her first set of step overs, she was doing, I believe, like 12s, and now she's down to 6s. So that just shows you the deterioration in
But the
movement.
cadence still is
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, for
really
sure.
good.
Yeah.
It's not a critique. It's just a
An observation.
Yes.
Yeah. Her limb length and height is a big advantage here. This is going to, I don't know how tall is Perrin? 5'3", 5'2"?
maybe.
A good 4 or 5 inches shorter than Brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
Brandy's
think-
5'8".
I think also too, Brandy just anthropometrically has long legs. She's like natural runner, and I think that because we went to a higher box, probably because we've been busting Mia's chops for so long for females here, I think this is going to pose a real challenge for shorter athletes to figure this out. But again, it's like one of those things. Shorter athletes don't get a different wall ball height, so it's something good to practice, but it's definitely going to challenge people's hip flexion. I mean, Perrin's knee is at her sternum when she's getting over the box.
Really stepping up.
Yeah, whereas Brandy's is just like a little bit above her hip, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But that happens in a lot of male athletes in
Yeah.
the sport on
Yeah.
this box.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the high-level male athletes aren't very tall, and so they struggle. That the one movement that comes up is box step-overs or box step-ups, and they really struggle with that. So it's something that everyone needs to practice. We haven't seen a step-over, a double dumbbell step-over in the open, but I think we could see that soon.
We have seen a single dumbbell step up.
Yes.
So it's kind of similar, but I think also a lot different because a normal step up, you're just staying linear the whole time. So you're just in that one plane of motion. With having to touch both feet on the top and end up on the other side of the box, there's a lot more rotation in this movement than a normal dumbbell box step up. So it'll be a challenge for people to figure out. But I think it's similar enough to dumbbell box step overs that if you've practiced your footwork, you'll be able to figure this out.
For sure.
So there's a 14-minute time cap. Brandy is starting the chest to bars of round 4.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how she opens
That's
it
a
up.
faster
And-
transition. That was 14 seconds compared to 20.
Yeah, and she's at 11:55 to start, so we'll see how long it takes her to go through 20. How many was that?
6.
6?
Yeah,
All right,
that's still
so
a really
yeah,
good
so that's a
starting
good
set.
opening set. I
Yeah.
think it seems like her set sizes are still pretty good. It's just the rest breaks between where maybe a more gymnasty CrossFitter could take advantage of that and maybe make up a little bit of time. 3?
4.
4?
So she's at 10.
Great counting, Max.
Come on. There's too many things going on here.
Perrin has a few more step overs. You can see that again. I mean, she's just losing the time here. So she's what, 50 seconds behind, or what? No, it was. When did
she's
she
like-
finish? 11:40.
Yeah,
11.
she's like 35 seconds behind when Brandy started
Yeah.
her first chest to bar.
But let's see if she can make up
Her
some time here.
transition to her first set of chest to bar has been great every time.
They have been really good.
That's another thing I tell my athletes all the time. If you're really good at one movement, force your transition there and take advantage of that. I know I keep saying like take advantage of the strength, but the transition matters too. So get to the chest to bars and start right away. It's also kind of like a psychological thing for you. And then if you're racing someone, Brandy's now like, oh, she's already on the chest to bars. I need to hurry up.
And
Which could-
Perrin's sets aren't any bigger. Her transitions are just, or
So-
her rest breaks are shorter.
It took Brandy there a minute 10 to do 20. I think that's actually pretty
pretty
good.
good,
I mean,
yeah.
20 reps in a minute is still moving pretty fast. But I think, yeah, like after watching that, I think it's, maybe for a more elite gymnasty female, they could probably do a set of 10 and a set of 10 with that same break time between and probably save 20 or 30 seconds on every single
Right.
set of chest to bars.
So now you can see Perrin's chest bars are starting to deteriorate after like maybe 12 reps. The last few, she had to do some doubles. And that's just what's going to happen. Like Max talked about earlier, as you get deeper into the workout, now you're accumulating 80 reps. It's tough to be able to do big sets.
Yeah, and breathing, and just like she just looks challenged there. By the way, we should say props to her because Mia was actually supposed to be our demo athlete. She chickened out.
I did not chicken out.
Stabs. This looks too hard for me because the box is too high to step up.
Oh my God. Do you want to do it on Saturday with me?
Nope, I don't.
Great job,
didn't think
All
ladies.
right, so a couple dumbbell box step-overs in the final round for both of them. Brandy was a little bit ahead. Let's go to the whiteboard. Alrighty then, here's the workout breakdown for Brandy and Perrin. So they got through 4 full rounds and were in that box step-over set. For Brandy, she was 1:38 to finish the first set of step-overs, then went 1:57, 2:09, 2:21. So that's a pretty big deterioration, about 43 seconds total from the slowest set to her fastest set. And then for the chest to bar, she opened in 53 seconds in set 1, and it took her 1:24 and 1:28 in the final 2 sets. So again, about a 40-second deterioration for Brandy. Now, Perrin attacked the workout a little bit differently. She was slower on the step overs. She was 150, 228, 245, 3 minutes. So she was 40 seconds slower on the step overs versus Brandy. However, she made up time on the chest to bars. It was 37 seconds to 53 on that first set. And in the final set, she started to break down a little bit, but she made 28 seconds up in that third set of chest to bars. So this is the type of workout, like we talked about in the demo, where you have the opportunity to make up time on the step overs, or you have time to make up on the gymnastics. For you elite folks out there, I know you'll be able to make up time on both components of the workout, but most people will have a strength and weakness in this workout, either based on how tall you are or what your body weight is. So just take that into consideration. You have their split times as a reference point for you to go after it. And then I have some points of performance for the step overs. Now, with this dumbbell step over only requiring you to hold one arm at a time, just like you watched in the demo, plan on switching arms as needed. I would not recommend doing huge sets like opening with 30 unbroken on the same arm. Even if you are gonna plan on continuing to move really fast through the sets, switch arms halfway and give one arm a break after a certain amount of work to just, make sure that you're not overblowing up one arm and then getting to the chest to bars and basically having one arm that's just been doing a ton of work. Another point of performance is to try to maintain your posture when you're doing these. We saw, now Brandy and Perrin, it's not really a fair comparison because Perrin is about 5'1". I asked her after we did the demo talk over, and Brandy's about 5'8". So that's a pretty big discrepancy in terms of leg length and ability to step on the box. But if I were coaching Perrin to do that, I would still recommend that she get her foot up and then maybe get a little bit taller up on the box. It may seem like it's a little bit more work because you're moving your body weight a farther, or your center of gravity a farther distance from the ground over the box, but I just think it's too detrimental to be bent over on the box for that long of a period of time in between the chest to bar sets. I think that it's just gonna make it really difficult to breathe and maintain an appropriate heart rate. The other thing to focus on is try to think about a faster speed per rep focus. We watched the demo, we pointed it out. Brandy was able to step over the box so much quicker, and some of that is the contact time on the other side of the box, and some of it is just kind of getting over and touching both feet and stepping to the other side and figuring out how to turn that over. There is time to be made up on your speed of step overs, which I think is a little bit harder to do with chest to bars. Most people have a chest to bar rhythm, and if you have shorter arms and you're just more explosive in the upper body, you do it a little quicker, but most people will just kind of find a natural rhythm with that. I think with step overs, you are able to adjust the rhythm a little bit more. So if you can maintain a focus on speed per rep and then take breaks as needed. Perrin was doing some of these step-overs basically as doubles with switches, and she was losing a little or maybe a significant amount of time, but it was not so much that she couldn't make it up on chest-to-bar. So be prepared if you need to take breaks, but maintain your speed per rep even if you are going to do that. Now for the chest-to-bars, this one I feel like is a little bit less of a toughness thing or a pacing thing for people because it's going to be limited based on your gymnastics capabilities. If that's the case, I'd say break it up as needed. My recommendation would be that the elite are probably going to do this in 1 or 2 sets. They'll do either unbroken or something like a 12-8 or a 10-10 and probably try to maintain that for all sets. RX athletes, which is basically what you just watched, I said maybe 2 to 4 sets would be a target. I know as they got deeper into the workout, that became harder to hold on to, but I'd like you to go in with a more aggressive pace mentality because it's training right now and you're trying to build your capacity. You're not necessarily getting paid to do the throwdown. You're not going to be on some major open leaderboard against thousands of other people. So this would be an opportunity to try to set an aggressive target for yourself. And then the goal would be maintain it for as many sets as you can finish in the workout. Then intermediate, I'd say, is 5 or more sets. If you're an intermediate athlete and you're doing this, you have a 14-minute cap. If you can do chest-to-bars, you can break this up into singles, doubles, and practice a workout like this that's bottlenecked with gymnastics and figuring out with your current capacity how to get that better. Now also make sure that you're getting that skill better so you're not always training to do singles and doubles. Have some skill-based programs to do that. In our intermediate division of TTT Compete, when workouts like this come out in the program, generally we'll have skills and drills to improve your strength and quality of chest to bars, but this throwdown is about testing your current capabilities. So figure out whatever you can do. I say 5+ sets. It could even be 20 sets for you if you got to do that. Just be mindful of your rest breaks if you are going to break it up a ton. Also for the chest to bars, my recommendation would be transition to your first set really quickly. It looked like from watching the workout that the dumbbell step-overs were kind of like a heart rate inducing, really difficult challenge. And then when Brandy took her 20 or 27 second break leading into the chest to bars, she's still not able to do a big set, a huge set of chest to bars because she's so fatigued. So it might make sense to just transition quickly, get up there, get your first set in, get a gauge for what your fatigue level is, and don't necessarily plan that you're going to take a long break and then do a big set because that's going to be much harder to do. So a little bit of urgency when you're transitioning from the step overs to the chest to bars, and also from the chest to bars to start the step overs. Also with this style of workout, it could potentially be really grippy. Both of these athletes said actually that it was a little bit more of a breathing based workout and a little bit less of just the bicep grip pump that you would expect with 100 chest to bars in a workout, even though they did 80, but 80 chest to bars over the course of 14 minutes is maybe not that dense enough to create that type of limiter. So avoid a ton of chalk breaks and avoid over chalking. I think if you are going to use chalk breaks, you could potentially be smart and maybe put a little piece of chalk on the box and use it while you're doing the dumbbell box step-overs. Do a set as you switch hands, chalk up real quick, and have that be your only transition or your only chalk break. Or potentially in your chest to bar breaks, you have one chalk break per set of 20. I feel like these types of workouts where people are standing around, they have a lot of difficulty just chilling and waiting before they do the next set. They feel like they need to do something or they need to make the movement easier. So they end up continually going over and grabbing chalk even though they don't necessarily need it. So I would avoid doing that in the workout. So that's what I got. Here's some pacing models for you to look at if you can compare yourself to Brandy or Perrin as an RX athlete. If you're an intermediate athlete, maybe look at these as being too fast and adding time. If you're an elite athlete, maybe look at maintaining this first round pace throughout the whole workout. You got some tips for the step overs and the chest to bars. That's all I got for you this afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this damn video. Good luck on the throwdown. I'll see you when I see you.
Hit it. Hit it. Whoa. You knew. You fucking knew. Whoa. it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man. Thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known. You know what I'm saying? Pata.